Ferguson here with Medisweet Herbals, and we are on episode 4 of our series on home herbal remedies. And today we're going to talk about cinnamon. And there is so much to talk about regarding the subject of cinnamon that I had to split it into 2 parts, a part A and a part B. So today we're going to get part A, which is basically on how cinnamon helps diabetes. When you get cinnamon at the store, you can pick it up either in sticks, and sticks are kind of expensive to buy. I think they're more like $6. And cinnamon is the bark of the tree, and it's just kind of rolled up into little curly cues. A lot of people use these to stick them in like drinks, like mulled cider or coffee or, I don't know, hot chocolate, stuff like that during the holidays. This is what I usually buy, the cinnamon that's already pre-ground. And if you bake, I'm positive you have some of this in your cabinet. So if you need something in the middle of the night to help you, you're always going to have cinnamon in your cabinet. But that's really not what I'm going to talk about right now. What I'm going to talk about is about how cinnamon helps diabetes. And there's been a lot of talk about this over the past 10 years, and I get asked a lot of questions on if cinnamon really does help diabetes. And there's been a lot of research showing that it actually does help diabetes. The only trick is in the amount. When you cook with cinnamon, you only use enough to flavor something to where it tastes pleasant. You're not using the medicinal amount. And so when people say, oh well, I'll use cinnamon and sprinkle it on my breakfast cereal every morning, you're probably not using the medicinal amount of cinnamon that you need to help with your diabetes. And this is probably what most people, I don't know if you can see it on this or not, would sprinkle on their toast or on their oatmeal or something. And it's, I don't know, it might be about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, and that is not near enough. In order to help your diabetes, you need to be using a 1/2 teaspoon per day, and that's about 1/2 teaspoon. And if you spread it on this slice of toast, which is really just hardened bread right now, it would be just covered with powder. It wouldn't be very palatable, so you couldn't do it that way. You can divide it up during the course of the day. You don't have to take it all during one meal. You can split it up between different meals. And I looked up on the internet about different ways to use cinnamon, and there were some creative ways other than using it in yogurt or sprinkling it on fruit. You can put it in smoothies. You can put it in coffee. One person said that they put it in their chili, which sounds kind of interesting, but they said it was very good. Some people have put it on pork chops. The only thing is that if you're cooking for a family, you need to make that you are getting that 1/2 teaspoon a day for just you, that you're getting that full dose. The different ways that cinnamon helps diabetes are, there's 5 of them. And the first major way is that it increases glucose metabolism. Glucose is what your body uses for fuel. It's kind of like gasoline in a car. The car burns the gasoline, which creates the energy to propel the car, and it's the same way with glucose in your body. Your body burns the glucose and it creates energy so that you're able to walk and talk and think and digest your food and all of that stuff. So, cinnamon raises your glucose metabolism 20 times more than normal, and that's a significant amount, 20 times. The second thing that cinnamon helps the body do is it has insulin-like effects, meaning that the purpose of insulin is to open the door of the cells so that the glucose can get in and the cells can use the glucose for energy. But if you don't have that insulin, the glucose isn't able to get into the cell. So if you have diabetes, a lot of times your pancreas is just worn out and you don't make enough insulin, and so you have to take insulin shots or you have to take medicine which will stimulate your pancreas to make more insulin. If you use the cinnamon, it will add to the insulin that your body's making or the insulin that you're already taking. So you don't have to make as much. You still have to make it, you still have to have it, but you won't have to make as much. And over time, the cinnamon should help with this, so you would be taking less over time. The third thing that cinnamon helps the body do is that it slows stomach emptying. And what happens is when you eat a meal, your stomach will release the food all at once, and if you've eaten a meal that had a lot of carbohydrates, your blood glucose level would just spike like that. And that's kind of a shock to your system. Your body really doesn't like that. It doesn't respond very well to that at all. So when cinnamon delays stomach emptying, it's just letting out a little bit of food at a time. A little bit of glucose is going into the bloodstream at a time, and you don't get that big giant spike. You just get, kind of a smooth evenness, and your body prefers that a lot better. The fourth thing that cinnamon does in helping diabetes is that it increases antioxidant effects. And diabetics really need antioxidants because they have to worry about their blood vessels, their capillaries becoming brittle and breaking, and also their nerves malfunctioning and causing things like neuropathy. So increased antioxidant effect helps preserve those tissues and helps keep them nourished so that they don't get so brittle and break and create havoc in the tissues. The fifth and final thing that cinnamon can help diabetic patients with is that it can alter the signals between insulin and fat. Once glucose has entered into all the cells that it's going to, all the excess insulin is circulating in the bloodstream, or glucose, and insulin is going to stick it in fat cells. It's got to go somewhere. And so cinnamon alters those insulin signals so that not as much glucose is stored in the fat cells. It's just dumped out of the body. So, I'm not saying that you're not going to get fat. All I'm saying is you're not going to be storing as much fat. Cinnamon kind of helps you with that. So, I'd like to kind of end with a quote from Dr. Mercola. I don't know how many of you have heard of Dr. Mercola. He puts out a website. He puts out a lot of YouTube videos on anything from diabetes to heart disease to cholesterol. I mean, just anything. He's very knowledgeable. He does a lot of interviews with a lot of other physicians, doctors that know how the body works naturally. And he says, however, as helpful as supplements like cinnamon can be, they should not be misconstrued as cures. They are not substitutes for proper diet and lifestyle choices. You cannot properly address your diabetes if you still maintain a sedentary lifestyle and poor dietary choices, cinnamon supplementation or not. So taking cinnamon and still having a really bad diet isn't going to do you any good. You need to get out there and you need to exercise. Exercise helps your cells be more sensitive to insulin, and you also need to work on your diet. You need to cut out the sugars. You need to cut out flour, even the multigrain bread flour. Your body sees that like white sugar. It just isn't a good thing if you're diabetic to be eating any kind of flour product. So keep that in mind, that cinnamon can help, but you also need to work on lifestyle changes as well in order to stay healthy and live a vibrant life. So if you have any questions or concerns or ideas, just stick them in the box down below in the comments section. I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and be sure to look me up online at my website. It's meadowsweetherbal.com, and I thank you very much. Have a good day.